Yeah, I mean, where to start actually? I think looking back at when we started the Analog 4 project, we already knew that we wanted to bring a bigger experience than just one hardware box. We thought it would make a lot of sense that you could also integrate this in your DAW environment. Because at that time it was a really strong software trend, I think. Still, we hadn't seen this hardware coming back strongly yet. That was a bit later than these times.
Yeah, especially I guess when you guys were designing the Analog 4, like,
Yeah,
because that must have been like 2010 or even 9 when you guys were implementing the idea, starting it.
maybe a bit later, but yeah, it was definitely a long time ago. But of course we had a number of like limitation and strong challenges along the way. As you know, we could not anticipate how hard it would be to stay up to date with what was happening in the computer operating systems we wanted to support. I mean, in particular in the Apple case, Mac OS has seen a big change in its architecture over the last 5 years, and that was pretty challenging, I would say, from a technical standpoint.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
it was a big challenge, as you say, and what I see over the years is that I think it's really been worth it.
Yeah.
The combination of analog devices as such, very competent on their own, that they can speak in the DAW world, such as Ableton, Logic, Cubase. I think it's very sophisticated, and as you mentioned, the computer technology is always evolving, and you need to keep up with that. And you also need to improve your own feature set as Overbridge. You need to meet the demands of the customer and meet the specs of the project that you guys started at the time. And when I joined, I instantly noticed that this was a huge undertaking.
Yeah.
Yes, and then that's why it took very long years for us. Because I remember that we announced this in 2014 at Music Messe.
Probably, yeah.
It was the first time that I was showing it to Nick Batt at that time on an Analog 4.
Oh, yeah.
And it was only audio streaming then. We only had the 4 tracks. And just seeing that, like, just from a USB cable, from this analog machine, that you have 4 individual tracks in a digital environment, that for me was just enough. That, and then there was all these extras that you had the plugin, you had the MIDI sync, which was near sample accurate, right?
Yeah, it's actually not MIDI sync. We have our own sync protocol, which we knew it would be better than MIDI sync. So it's rather synchronizing the phases of the sequencers, and it's a really nice technical solution behind that. I think that helps you. I mean, we played that up to, what was it? I think we ran it up to like 1,000 BPM or so.
Yes, because Ableton allows you go up to 999 or something.
Yeah, I remember that.
A number, and it was a cuckoo video actually, that I go really high up and down, and I'm like, I look at it, and still everything is in sync, and I don't really believe in it because the electron BPM doesn't go over 300.
Yeah, we had to limit that in the end, of course. But
the thing is, it still was in sync. So that was interesting. Another thing that I really like about Overbridge is the way you can handle your data in the machines.
Yeah, the total recall.
Yeah, total recall, and also your sample library, your preset library, and you can drag and drop to certain tracks. I think that type of communication with a device through a very modern computer, monitor and that type of interface and all the tools is incredible actually. I mean, when you look at the simplest thing of what is Overbridge, is it basically combining these analog instruments in a digital world, and not only they're in synchronized and there's audio going through, is that you can send audio bidirectional. So I can send multi-track audio to a computer, and I can send computer audio into the Analog 4 or even the Analog Rhythm, the Analog Heat, of course, which is very suitable for that, with just a single USB cable, without any jacking these cables around. It's incredible. And that wasn't possible before.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, that was also in this original idea that we should bring the convenience of like a typical plugin. You just have something in your DAW project, you work on that, and then you save. And then you can also include the state of the hardware machine in that plugin state, and that's really convenient, I think.
And let's not forget the automation possibilities.
Oh yeah, I think regarding the automation, the DAW is good at and has always been good at, smooth automation over time. Actual automation, while our sequencer is good at microscopic parameter changes, the p-locks, and if you combine those, it's really powerful, I think.